Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Turn from a straight course, fixed direction, or line of interest. Movement that causes the formation of a curve. Bend a joint. Bend your knees. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A bend of his elbow. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Bend the rod. Form a curve. The stick does not bend. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. A circular segment of a curve. A bend in the road. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. Diagonal line traversing a shield from the upper right corner to the lower left. A town in Central Oregon at the eastern foot of the Cascade Range. Change direction. The road bends. Turn from a straight course, fixed direction, or line of interest. Draw someone's attention away from something. He deflected his competitors. Prevent the occurrence of. Prevent from happening. Impede the movement of an opponent or a ball. Turn aside and away from an initial or intended course. Turn from a straight course, fixed direction, or line of interest. Refuse entrance or membership. Turn away or aside. Move so as not face somebody or something. Movement that causes the formation of a curve. The property of being bent or deflected. The act of bending something. Bend a joint. Flex your wrists. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Form a curve. Contract. Flex a muscle. Exhibit the strength of. The victorious army flexes its invincibility. The act of flexing. He gave his biceps a flex to impress the ladies. A slight depression or fold in the smoothness of a surface. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A crease in his trousers. Become wrinkled or crumpled or creased. Make wrinkled or creased. Scrape gently. A Malayan dagger with a wavy blade. Make wrinkles or creases on a smooth surface. Make a pressed, folded or wrinkled line in. Crisp, is archaic. Crease the paper like this to make a crane. Curl tightly. Crimp hair. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. Someone who tricks or coerces men into service as sailors or soldiers. Make ridges into by pinching together. A lock of hair that has been artificially waved or curled. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A flexure of the colon. Act of bending a joint, especially a joint between the bones of a limb so that the angle between them is decreased. The state of being flexed, as of a joint. A folded part, as in skin or muscle. Cease to operate or cause to cease operating. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A fold in the napkin. A group of sheep or goats. Confine in a fold, like sheep. Bend or lay so that one part covers the other. Fold up the newspaper. Become folded or folded up. The bed folds in a jiffy. The act of folding. He gave the napkins a double fold. A group of people who adhere to a common faith and habitually attend a given church. A geological process that causes a bend in a stratum of rock. A pen for sheep. Incorporate a food ingredient into a mixture by repeatedly turning it over without stirring or beating. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A plication on her blouse. The act of folding in parallel folds. Twist and press out of shape. Cuz, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Assume a different shape or form. Alter the shape of something by stress. His body was deformed by leprosy. Become misshapen. The sidewalk deformed during the earthquake. Make formless. The heat deformed the plastic sculpture. To break and turn over earth, especially with a plow. Turn the earth in the spring. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. I turned my ankle and couldn't walk for several days. Pass into a condition gradually, take on a specific property or attribute, become. The weather turned nasty. Cuz, to move around a center so as to show another side of. Turn a page of a book. Undergo a change or development. The water turned into ice. Let something fall or spill from a container. Turn the flour onto a plate. Cuz, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. The strong man could turn an iron bar. Undergo a transformation or a change of position or action. We turned from socialism to capitalism. Pass to the other side of. Turn the corner. Have recourse to or make an appeal or request for help or information to. She turned to her relatives for help. Turning or twisting around, in place. A favor for someone. He did me a good turn. Change to the contrary. The tides turned against him. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is my turn. A short performance that is part of a longer program. A circular segment of a curve. Sports. A division during which one team is on the offensive. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. A movement in a new direction. The turning of the wind. An unforeseen development. Events suddenly took an awkward turn. The act of changing or reversing the direction of the course. He took a turn to the right. Go sour or spoil. The cream has turned, we have to throw it out. Accomplish by rotating. Turn a somersault. Alter the functioning or setting of. Turn the dial to 10. Become officially 1 year older. She is turning 50 this year. Cuz, to change or turn into something different. Assume new characteristics. The princess turned the frog into a prince by kissing him. Cuz to move along an axis or into a new direction. Turn your face to the wall. Cuz to move around or rotate. Turn a key. Change color. In Vermont, the leaves turn early. Change orientation or direction, also in the abstract sense. The mugger turned and fled before I could see his face. Channel one's attention, interest, thought, or attention toward or away from something. The pedophile turned to boys for satisfaction. Direct at someone. She turned a smile on me. Get by buying and selling. The company turned a good profit after a year. Move around an axis or a center. The wheels are turning. Shape by rotating on a lathe or cutting device or a wheel. Turn the legs of the table. Taking a short walk out and back. We took a turn in the park. The act of turning away or in the opposite direction. He made an abrupt turn away from her. To send or let go. They turned away the crowd at the gate of the governor's mansion. Twist suddenly so as to sprain. The wrestler twisted his shoulder. A sharp strain on muscles or ligaments. Cuz, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Twist the dough into a braid. Twist or pull violently or suddenly, especially so as to remove something from that to which it is attached or from where it originates. Form into a spiral shape. The cord is all twisted. Turning or twisting around, in place. With a quick twist of his head he surveyed the room. A miniature whirlpool or whirlwind resulting when the current of a fluid doubles back on itself. A circular segment of a curve. An interpretation of a text or action. To move in a twisting or contorted motion, especially when struggling. Extend in curves and turns. The path twisted through the forest. A hairdo formed by braiding or twisting the hair. The act of winding or twisting. A jerky pulling movement. Any clever maneuver. A sharp bend in a line produced when a line having a loop is pulled tight. An unforeseen development. Practice sophistry. Change the meaning of or be vague about in order to mislead or deceive. Don't twist my words. The act of rotating rapidly. It broke off after much twisting. Do the twist. Form into twists. Social dancing in which couples vigorously twist their hips and arms in time to the music was popular in the 1960s. They liked to dance the twist. Turn in the opposite direction. Twist one's head. The trace of a point whose direction of motion changes. Form a curl, curve, or kink. Turn sharply. Change direction abruptly. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. The property possessed by the curving of a line or surface. Bend or cause to bend. The road curved sharply. Extend in curves and turns. Form an arch or curve. Her hips curve nicely. A pitch of a baseball that is thrown with spin so that its path curves as it approaches the batter. A line on a graph representing data. A circular segment of a curve. A crook in the path. Someone who has committed a crime or has been legally convicted of a crime. Bend or cause to bend. He crooked his index finger. A long staff with one end being hook-shaped. A knot with two loops and loose ends, used to tie shoelaces. Bending the head or body or knee as a sign of reverence or submission or shame or greeting. An appearance by actors or performers at the end of the concert or play in order to acknowledge the applause of the audience. Something curved in shape. Yield to another's wish or opinion. The government bowed to the military pressure. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. She bowed before the Queen. Front part of a vessel or aircraft. He pointed the bow of the boat toward the finish line. Bend one's knee or body, or lower one's head. He bowed before the king. A decorative interlacing of ribbons. A slightly curved piece of resilient wood with taut horsehair strands, used in playing certain stringed instruments. A stroke with a curved piece of wood with taut horsehair strands that is used in playing stringed instruments. A weapon for shooting arrows, composed of a curved piece of resilient wood with a taut cord to propel the arrow. Bend the head or the upper part of the body in a gesture of respect or greeting. He bowed before the king. Play on a stringed instrument with a bow. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. He crouched down. Sit on one's heels. The act of bending low with the limbs close to the body. Basin for holy water. Small porch or set of steps at the front entrance of a house. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. The young man stooped to pick up the girl's purse. Debase oneself morally, act in an undignified, unworthy, or dishonorable way. I won't stoop to reading other people's mail. An inclination of the top half of the body forward and downward. Carry oneself, often habitually, with head, shoulders, and upper back bent forward. The old man was stooping but he could walk around without a cane. Descend swiftly, as if on prey. The eagle stooped on the mice in the field. Sag, bend, bend over or down. The rock stooped down over the hiking path. Diagonal line traversing a shield from the upper right corner to the lower left. The act of changing location from one place to another. Police controlled the motion of the crowd. Show, express or direct through movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The cinema relies on apparent motion. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A formal proposal for action made to a deliberative assembly for discussion and vote. He made a motion to adjourn. The use of movements, especially of the hands, to communicate familiar or prearranged signals. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. The reflex motion of his eyebrows revealed his surprise. A state of change. They were in a state of steady motion. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. A euphemism for defecation. He had a bowel movement. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He was a charter member of the movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The succession of flashing lights gave an illusion of movement. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. A broad movement of the electorate to the right. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. The movement to end slavery. A major self-contained part of a symphony or sonata. The second movement is slow and melodic. The act of changing the location of something. The movement of cargo onto the vessel. The driving and regulating parts of a mechanism, as of a watch or clock. It was an expensive watch with a diamond movement. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally. In a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. A shape having one or more sharp angles. A shape having one or more sharp angles. The property possessed by a shape that has angles. Assume a different shape or form. Assume a different shape or form. A self-contained part of a larger composition, written or musical. He always turns first to the business section. A specialized division of a large organization. She got a job in the historical section of the Treasury. The cutting of or into body tissues or organs, especially by a surgeon as part of an operation. Geometry, the area created by a plane cutting through a solid. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The finance section of the company. A small class of students who are part of a larger course but are taught separately. A graduate student taught sections for the professor's lecture course. Divide into segments. One of several parts or pieces that fit with others to constitute a whole object. A section of a fishing rod. A distinct region or subdivision of a territorial or political area or community or group of people. No section of the nation is more ardent than the South. A division of an orchestra containing all instruments of the same class. A land unit equal to 1 square mile. A segment of a citrus fruit. He ate a section of the orange. A small army unit usually having a special function. A small team of policemen working as part of a police platoon. A very thin slice of tissue or mineral or other substance for examination under a microscope. Sections from the left ventricle showed diseased tissue. Divide into segments. Segment an orange. One of several parts or pieces that fit with others to constitute a whole object. Finished the final segment of the road. Divide or split up. The cells segmented. One of the parts into which something naturally divides. A segment of an orange. The trace of a point whose direction of motion changes. Lacking special distinction, rank, or status, commonly encountered. The ordinary, or common, man in the street. An early bicycle with a very large front wheel and small back wheel. A clergyman appointed to prepare condemned prisoners for death. A judge of a probate court. Heraldry. Any of several conventional figures used on shields. Not exceptional in any way, especially in quality or ability or size or degree. Ordinary everyday objects. The expected or commonplace condition or situation. Not out of the ordinary. The movement of the pointer or pen of a measuring instrument from its zero position. The amount by which a propagating wave is bent. A twist or aberration, especially a perverse or abnormal way of judging or acting. A turning aside, of your course or attention or concern. A deflection from his goal. The property of being bent or deflected.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.